Brubaker, and this is Career Search Lunch and Learn. We are a career search, job search networking group and support group. We're here to give you some group coaching on your career search, to answer your questions, to give you support, to help you with your networking as you move forward. One of the things that I love about this group is that you're going to be gaining information from us as much as we gain information from you. You help us learn. We help you learn and network together. Now, I've been doing this for almost 9 full years. I'm a career transitions coach, and I'm going to put my information in the chat along with yours. I come to this work with over 30 years of experience in human resources, an HR business partner, a recruiting manager, a recruiter, both inside and outside companies. And I've been doing this career transitions coaching now for the last 9 years. Now, it's important for you to know that because when I'm telling you what the information that we're giving you, the experts that we bring in, based on the information that we have from our experience, real world experience, on as many different sides of the desk as we can, as working with all of you, with the experience that we have in our past lives too, as well as the research that we do with our colleagues, with professional organizations, with all the news sources that we check. We want to make sure that the information that we're giving you is current, up to date, and more importantly, actionable. And that's what this group is all about, is to provide you with those actionable ideas and resources that help you move forward. No, this isn't where you want to be, but our goal is to give you those tips to help you move forward. I'm so blessed today to be able to have Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey? Oh my God. Well, baseball season's starting, so there you go.
What a Freudian slip.
Starting today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let Ken and Sue introduce themselves.
It's Sue Lang and Ken Griffey. Well, I'm happy to be here. I am a career counselor at Lee Act Harrison. What I wanted to do today was make a couple of suggestions for people that are in transition, things that can help them out. First of all, I work with William Patterson and their mentoring program for students, and we are looking for mentors. You don't have to be local to New Jersey, and it's a great way to share your knowledge. It's also great on a resume and a LinkedIn profile. So I will put the information in the chat, and you can definitely reach out to me later on. The other thing is I've been volunteering. One of my passions, and that is working on my temple's website. And it's been a labor of love, but it's also good practice because I learned a lot of things I didn't even know about from before. So I recommend if you volunteer very specific into specific industries that you're looking for, because if I was looking for a job, there are a bunch of people there I know who could help me because they're working. And you never know where they're going to be coming from. So great to be here. And Sue Griffey.
Ironically, as I was young, no one could pronounce our last name. I don't know why, until Ken Griffey. I was already in high school when the father started playing baseball. And so finally we were a name that was easier to pronounce for some reason. Anyway, I thought that was perfect, Ken, because I knew it was baseball season. So thank you, Linda, for the laugh. I join Ken and Linda as often as I can. I'm known as Sue Mentors in the virtual world. And I'm the mentor with Pom Poms because we need to celebrate things. But it's not just the celebration. I find over and over again, even today, looking at the chat, some of you are underselling yourselves. You're standing in your own brilliance, but you don't realize it. And our goal is to help you find ways to do that. Ken had a great tip about volunteering in an area you want to be working in if you can find an opportunity, because it's a great informal networking and formal networking, as well as volunteering, showing up, being present, working as a team, all the job characteristics that you can demonstrate, even if it's, quote, unpaid work. It's all good experience. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. It's been lively so far, and I will turn this back. Oh, let me give my pom-poms. You'll see me waving my pom-poms. I know we have another win that I saw in the chat. I think it was Carolyn. So looking forward to Linda celebrating those officially. And I'll turn this back to Linda.
Wonderful, thank you. And yeah, I hadn't planned on making it a joke this morning, but hey, you know what? We all need a laugh, right? So I'm glad that one actually made some sense along the way. Okay, a couple of more announcements before we go. One of which is, as many of you all know, we run this program for an hour, but we often run for an hour and a half. I'm making it official. We're going to go plan this for an hour and a half. You can come for all part, whatever it is. But the very first thing that I'd like you to do in the chat, and I know I've said let's, okay, add additional information. Do you want to start a half an hour early? So if we're talking about this at 11:30 Eastern time and go from 11:30 to 1, do you want to go from 12 Eastern to 1:30? So in the chat, please include what it is. Right now I've got it scheduled, okay, however it is, and I will change it to whatever it is. For those of you who asked me, questioned whether or not we were continuing, the answer is yes, we are, absolutely. And I know that some of you saw on your calendars that the meetings ended today. You should have gotten an email extending that on your calendar. If you did not, okay, I'll go back in and resend that email. But if you don't get the email by the end of the day, make sure that what you do is you re-register, because that will extend your time frame. Okay, and the new link includes that added time. If we decide to start a half an hour early, I'll go in and change that. If we decide to go a half an hour late, I will change that as well. But you will have that decision by the end of the day. If you can't stay for all of it, we understand. But it helps me plan, it helps you plan, and it helps make sure that we can answer as many of your questions and get you the support that we want to. All right. So now that said, let's start with some of those quick wins. If you have a quick win, or if you're new, please raise your digital hand and let's talk with you. Jim, can you turn on your calendar? Or your
Camera, yes. Good
Yeah.
morning or good afternoon. So I was invited, I submitted to Humana, and I was invited to a virtual interview. It's using HireVue. If anyone's ever used that before, I appreciate any advice about what to expect. I thought that was,
Yeah.
it's a virtual
Yes. So
situation.
HireVue interviews have been done for a long time.
Okay.
Even when I was still in the recruiting world. Okay. And I hate them.
Uh-huh.
Very honest. Okay. But by the same token, I hate them on your side of the screen. It's because you're not getting the feedback. But on the other hand, I've actually learned to love them in a way, because it helps you to practice your short answers. What a HireVue or that those video interviews, there's nobody sitting on the other side.
Right.
Okay. Everybody gets asked exactly the same questions in exactly the same order. You are given the question, you are given X period of time to prepare. You are given X number of minutes to respond, and then you are given normally one opportunity to re-record that answer.
Okay.
What happens with them is, because it has that time frame, you can keep talking as long as you want, but it stops recording.
Okay.
Okay. And often you will have that calendar on the screen. Okay. Depending upon how they got it set up.
Okay.
But it's a great way of practicing. The other reason that I like it is because you can put your notes up all around you and nobody's going to see them. Right? When you're doing your prep, you can have all that information there. It gives you that actual time frame. Treat it like a real interview, because it is.
Right.
Love to the camera. Put something behind the camera so that you can see it, and it's harder to do when there's nobody there except your face on the screen. Okay.
How I'm showing on the screen now, is this acceptable, do you think, for HireVue or any virtual?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I know I can use this laptop in this location to do it, because at home it's kind of dark and I'm looking at two different screens. I'm looking up and down and so,
Right.
okay.
Nope, that's
All
fine.
right. And my voice is okay?
Your voice is fine. With a
Okay.
hired you interview, with any of these on-screen interviews, what they're really looking for, these video interviews, this is a case where AI actually is coming into play in some cases,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But what they're looking at is your expression. They're looking at your sound, tone of voice. They're looking at your thought process, not necessarily looking at the answers themselves.
Okay.
Okay. They want to make sure that you got it. They want to make
Okay.
sure you understand what's going on and that you can give that answer. But you're not going to be there are normally no right or wrong answers here. This is really how you present yourself. It's more of the that connection with people on the other end of the screen. And can you answer succinctly? Can you tell a story? It's okay if your answer is shorter, not longer.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck,
Thank you.
David.
Last week, I applied for a job at Ohio Health, and they called me back about a minute or two after I sent out the application, said they were not only going to recommend my resume for the position I applied for, but for a higher level position where I'd be doing data migrations. And also, I just earned a Google AI professional certificate. So I took 7 courses, now I have a certificate. If you looked at my LinkedIn profile, you notice I had the badge for it on there. So I hope that opens some doors for me and gets more views on my profile.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
So you applied directly on the company website on the
Yes, for Ohio Health, I did.
perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Those things work. Okay. The recommendations, the referrals work too, but don't be afraid to apply directly if you can. Good luck, David. Keep us posted. Chandra.
Yes, so I had an interview. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. So I had an interview yesterday at Key Staff. It was a phone interview.
Okay. For what kind of a job?
It was an administrative job.
And how did you find them?
I find them through a company site.
Okay, good. So are they a temporary firm, a placement
Yeah.
firm?
A temporary firm.
Okay. Just the same way that volunteering is a good way to get some added experience. Temporary positions work too. So don't be afraid, don't shy away from them. I think it's a great idea. Congratulations. Keep us
Thank you.
posted.
I will.
Barry.
3 possible wins. I had a preliminary phone screening interview today for a job I don't want, but I went through with it because I have to get some money somewhere. So if it works out, it works out. I don't expect to hear back from them for a second phase.
Why?
Hmm?
Why?
Why? Because it's with Meijer. I don't know if you know the
Grocery
large
store.
box store, and I suspect they're looking for young kids they can push around. As opposed to and it's only a part-time thing anyway. But like I say, I put it in just so I can get some income coming in, which is what I
Okay.
need at the moment.
Absolutely.
I do have an interview in-person interview Friday with an attorney in the area for a paralegal position with his firm. I'm a little more optimistic about that because I have all the skills that he's looking for, and it may turn out to be a good fit. And then I have a first level interview with Enterprise in their trainee program in a couple weeks.
For what kind of a role?
It's a management trainee program, so I think it's to be some kind of assistant manager or manager at one of their stores. This is for the car rental place.
Mhm.
So that's
I
what's
love
going
it.
on with me.
That sounds fantastic. 3 opportunities, all very different. Okay. 2
Yes.
of them are more of those survival jobs, which is fine. Okay. While you're looking for that next forever job. But the idea that you're getting yourself out there, that people are talking to you, my win, That's fantastic. Okay, good for you.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. TJ,
A couple quick wins this week. So I changed my location and I had more recruiters reaching out to a big metro area and
absolutely.
made it known that I was just wanting remote. So I met somebody who I worked for a different department in my old company. And we may have crossed paths. He knows a few of my bosses, but I found a position. I applied for it, found out that he knew the CTO. He put in a good word for me. The CTO added me on LinkedIn and said he forwarded my resume on to the recruiter.
Nice. I love it. So there are lots of different ways of getting in, and you've done two of them. That's perfect. And one of the things that he also mentioned was changing your location. People search for you by location. Whether you want remote or not, make sure that you're listing your greater metropolitan area or whatever it is the LinkedIn drop-down box is. That's one of the ways you get found. If you're very specific, you may not get found. Okay. I live in an itty-bitty town. I shouldn't say itty, about 4,000 people. But nobody knows where the town of Kildare is, but they understand Greater Chicago. They're going to look for Greater Chicago. They're not going to look for Kildare. So broaden your background, broaden your opportunities by changing that setting, that location setting to LinkedIn's drop-down box. And honestly, I'm sorry?
I had like 5 people message me now.
Fantastic. Okay, these things work. So what do you think prompted the outreach, the messaging? Is it just changing the location or is it something
Yeah.
else? Yep.
It's just location. I hadn't changed anything else.
One other thing that you all should know is that every time you change anything on your profile, LinkedIn reindexes it, which means that you come back up to the top of the search piles. Doesn't mean you're going to get contacted, but it means you're going to be first in those lists when they're starting to go through the searches. Catherine.
So I have a very short, quick win. I was able to secure a contract role for the next 6 months with the city of Las Cruces here. So my plan is to obviously do an amazing job, but more so network with those I need to connect with along my career path.
Fantastic. So I think you talked about this last week where you were talking about the opportunity with the village.
Yes, yes. So I did go for that interview. They normally don't interview contractors, but they did. The vibe was good, real good. And we'll see how it goes. This is definitely outside of my area of expertise in grants. However, how hard can it be, actually? So we're going to go for it, and it allows a revenue stream. So pretty
Absolutely.
pleased about that piece. So.
Absolutely. And if you need additional information, I have several people in the grants field
Okay, thank you.
to connect with any of those just to get some additional ideas and information about the aspects that you'd be looking at. Let me know and we'll see whether we can find some people for you.
I appreciate that offer, Linda. I really do. Thank you.
Of course, that's what we're all about. We're sharing those resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're all each other. Congratulations. Okay.
Thanks.
Jason.
Yeah, so I had a quick win yesterday. I had a third round interview, which I agreed to do. I don't normally do like take home projects or kind of exercises in an interview process, but I had previous to agreeing to do this. I had a great call with the recruiter, great call with the hiring manager, and I felt like rapport-wise, the hiring manager and I kind of hit it off, even though it was virtual. So I kind of saw some positive signs when I was asked to move to the third round. I said, you know what, it's a take-home project, an exercise, which was really creating a presentation and presenting it to 3 other people in a panel style, which was yesterday. So I had agreed to do it. I was told don't take more than 2 hours to do this and only limit it to a few slides, which is what I did. Thought it went well. So no offer, but hopefully, we'll get there.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you decided not only to do the presentation, but to do it on your terms. Too often these presentations become free consulting. Okay, they're making use of your ideas, your hard work, and then using them as their own, without crediting you, without paying you, without hiring you. And I've seen that happen too often. But the idea of giving them the taste, okay, and then following up with, here's the process I would use to continue once starting, gives them the information not only that you know what you're talking about, but that you value your intellectual property as you would if you were working for them, and tells them that you can do what they want you to do. It also gives you that ability to showcase your presentation style, especially if the job is going to be doing the presentation. So it's a win-win-win on all areas without giving away the store. Excellent. Keep us posted. And again, Jason, how did you find that opportunity?
I think I just found it online, and I applied it, probably LinkedIn. But to your point, in many of our calls, I found it on LinkedIn Jobs, and I've been doing this more recently. If I see something and it's got a link, if it doesn't take me to the company page, the careers page, I will go out and find the careers page to see if that listing is there. If it's not there, then I question, to your point, and it was a LinkedIn job reel. I think that was one of those situations where it was on the company site, and I found it in LinkedIn, and that link, when I hit apply, didn't go to the career site. So I went and found the same exact role, made sure the job description was listed as the same as what I saw, and applied. So
perfect. So a lot of them will not include the direct link to the company page from LinkedIn. But if you see a job on LinkedIn, always go to the company page. Always go to their site directly. Apply there if you're going to be applying, because we know it gets to the recruiter faster. We know it doesn't go through extra filters along the way unless the company has set them up. It's a much better way of doing it. And as an internal recruiter, I set up my own notifications so that when people apply for jobs, I used to set it up so that I would get notified, especially in the beginning, every 2 to 3 hours. And after that, it was maybe once a day. But so that I know when people are applying and I immediately go in and look. If you're going through the LinkedIn site or Indeed or any other site, it has this longer process to get there. And we found that it can take anywhere from an additional 3 to 10 days to get into the company's database, depending upon the site you use. It's not worth it. So going directly into their site, find it wherever you find it, find your connections wherever you find them. But if you're actually submitting your resume, do it through LinkedIn, through the company's page. Perfect. Kim.
Yes, hi. So I had a person who I used to work for in a previous company, and he's known me for quite some time. Also will be one of my recommendations when I find a full-time job, but he reached out for 2 small projects for me to work with him. So totally nothing to do with resource management, but dealing with a spreadsheet and giving him financial data. And the second one was working on a user manual on something I've never done before, but using HubSpot. So I started taking, since I got the 2 months free from Ken, 2 months free on the LinkedIn. So I took some courses on the HubSpot, plus using Coursera, since New York State gives us free access to Coursera, and started taking some HubSpot there. Even though it was old and antiquated, I was still able to do some of that. So he does, and he paid me right away. I underpaid myself when he asked for the information, but he's like a friend, and has been happy with the work I gave him, just based on who I am and how I was in the past. And he also has an open spot that he's thinking for me to take over with being administrator in HubSpot, as well as his application that he has for his company. So scared because it doesn't meet my salary, what I need, and I won't have any health care. But if that's what happens, that will be the gap job. And during that period of time, I'm just waiting for him to reach out again when he's available. So hopefully I can get some more work through him and fill up some of the gap.
Absolutely. And again, those are your survival jobs, your interim jobs, whatever it is you want to call them. While you take those, whether it's a short-term project, whether it's that volunteer work, whether it's part-time, it doesn't make any difference. You're always looking for that next role. And now you've got these added skills, these added resources, these added references and tools that you can bring in.
Yes, as I gain that skill, he also indicated that, as I grow in that, and he's willing to work with me side by side. He's over in California, working through some of the data that he would like me to do. And then he will be also recommending me to other things. So I don't like being like a contractor kind of thing, but that's just what it is. And I move forward with it. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, in this economy, I see contractor roles continuing to grow.
Yes.
Much more so, actually, unfortunately, than the W-2 jobs. One more thing, check out HubSpot itself. They on occasion will offer free training.
Oh, yes, it's all through it. I got my own
Perfect.
my own one, and so thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Keep us posted. Well, congratulations. Make sure you add it as either project work or contract work or whatever it is you want to do on your LinkedIn profile too.
So I have a quick public announcement. When you are in the chat and you are about to click on someone's LinkedIn link, let the mouse hover for a few seconds so that you can see where exactly you're going. There is a link. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's malicious or not, but there's a link in the chat that when you hover, it points to facebook.com and then about 1,000 characters after it. So be very careful what you're clicking on, trying to connect with people on LinkedIn.
That's important to know. Can you,
Yep.
I know that, if you want to, you can do it privately, but let us know who it is because we want to tell that person so that they can change that.
Yeah, we're going back and forth to try to remediate the situation. Yep, thank you.
Absolutely. So if you ever want to figure out how to find that URL, it's really easy. There are two ways. One of the easiest ways, just go to your own profile. And at the top of that URL bar will be your URL. Copy it, paste it. People will be able to get directly to you.
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you.
You don't have to go through machinations, but thanks for pointing that out.
Sure.
And by the way, do that not just in the chat, do it every time. Okay, make sure that it's the right spot to go to. Hey, Julie.
Yeah, sorry, I'm feeling a little so I'll make this quick. Actually a win. I did accept a contract role and it's supposed to start tentatively next week, but it might change. So yeah. And I know I gotta still keep looking, as we know. So my question on that is, when you edit your experience, do you also, okay, it's a staff, it's another job where it's a staff, I don't want to say it like that, but staffing agency, but I'm working for another company.
Yes.
When you edit your experience, you can't put an employment type contract via, that where it's through. So would you put that in the company organization? Like my previous job was Populous Group, but I was really paid by Aston Carter. Would I edit Populous Group via Aston Carter, for example?
So Aston Carter was the company for whom you were actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So do it the other way around. So you were working for Aston Carter.
Right, correct.
Doesn't matter where the paycheck came from. It's who you did the work for. So with this new contract, it's exactly the same thing. So if you're working for company A, that's who you're doing the work for. That's your employer. You can say through a contract with. But people don't need to know, honestly. If you say in contract, they don't need to know that Robert Half was paying you or Populous Group or someone else is paying you. They need to know who you were doing the work for. And as long as you're saying contract, you are being perfectly honest.
Okay, so in the company organization, I should put instead of Populous, because then the Aston Carter will come up with the company logo.
Yes.
Okay,
and then Aston Carter is the one that you're doing the work for. They're the ones directing your work that you're giving the product to.
But you still would put via Populous Group in the LinkedIn profile under company and organization?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Ken,
Oh, okay.
what do you think?
I tend to agree with you.
Mhm.
Okay. As a recruiter, I don't care that you were working through a contract agency. If you're telling me contract, you could be paid by somebody else. They could have found you the role.
Yeah.
It could have been the company who says, I only want to hire contractors, so I'm hiring you directly as a contractor. It makes no difference. I don't care where the paycheck is coming from. I don't care who placed you in that role. In fact, Julie, I would go back to all of your contract roles and make that change.
What about what about on the resume too?
Absolutely.
I mean, you could list all your contract roles together
Yeah,
in one section
yeah.
instead of like 3 months here, 6 months there.
Mhm.
That way too. I mean, people want to know what you can do for them. I think we got a little bit hung up on what we've done and perceptions with that.
Right. So it really truly does not matter who the contract came through. What matters is who you're doing the work for. So my recommendation, resume and LinkedIn, is remove the contracting agency and just leave the name of the company that you're doing the work for.
Okay, but still under employment type, put that it was a contract, of course.
Correct.
Okay, all right, that doesn't change, but change it to Aston Carter versus Populous Group in LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and resume all the way through.
Mhm.
Not just this current job, but all the past.
Okay, cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll feel better by next week. I think I will though.
Okay.
It's better now.
And always remember, with any kind of a contract role, always be looking for that next opportunity. Okay.
Yes, yeah, that I know. Obviously got to keep looking. Yeah, that's a given. And it might be limited, but you still got to keep. Of your networking time, but you still got to keep looking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact,
And
I got a phone interview for another job position Thursday because I figure you got to keep moving along. I don't.
yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
The same way that there are no forever jobs, there are no forever contracts.
Exactly. Correct.
And the only one who's going to care about your career is you. You have to keep moving forward, always be looking, always be networking, always keep yourself out there. Now, having that contract, having that part-time, even if it's a or volunteer role, means that you get to be a little more selective, especially if there's some cash coming in. Don't apply to everything, but apply to the ones that you really want. And
don't
even
remove your open to work banner either, from what I understand. Yeah.
if you're in a contract role, that open to work banner can stay up. There's this unwritten rule that says, as a recruiter, we don't like to admit it. Okay. But I will tell you that it's true. I know that if you're on a contract, I'm not keeping you. If you want to move on, no matter what I say, okay, no matter if I say it's a 6-month contract and you find something even 3 weeks in, okay, you have to look out for you.
Yep. I agree. Totally.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Anybody else?
Linda, with that comment though that you just made, is Carolyn. So I was on a contract that said that they were only going to be for 6 months and then they extended it to 2 years. So at what point do you say, see ya, if you have a contract when it was supposed to only be for 6 months? Because I personally am a little shy of getting into contract positions anymore because it wasn't a higher position,
No, they're not.
a job to go full time. And if they would have told me that up front, that's a different story, but they didn't. It was like we were supposed to be hired on for 6 months and they kept extending it and extending it, and I hope that you would stick around, but then you don't. So
Yeah. So they don't work for you. Okay. Their goal is to maximize their workload and their bottom line. It's always up to you, no matter how long the contract is, no matter how often it's extended. You get to choose to continue to look and leave at any time, even in the middle of a contract. Okay. Companies may tell you that it's contract to hire, but you don't know how their situations change either. Contractors come out of a different pot than employees in terms of the budget. Contractors are expenses, employees are overhead. So if they're trying to minimize, and it's, for those of you who are real Excel wizards or budget issues, wizards, you not understand the phrasing probably better than I do. But when I was advising managers or working with managers, they understand that if my overhead is too high, I can bring in somebody to do exactly the same work as a contractor. Okay, it comes out of a different pot and I don't get dinged. Okay, I also don't have to pay you benefits. But the same way as in almost every state now, maybe every state, we are an employment at will company or country, which means that unless you are on a union contract or you are, which also might include tenure within an organization in some cases, I can fire you at will for any reason or no reason at all. I'm only looking out for me and the company. You have to look out for you. So always be looking for that next opportunity. Leave when it becomes available. Don't be uncomfortable about doing that. Okay, Diane.
Yes, hi. A little bit of experience on my side with contract roles. The kicker is they still pay the bills. It doesn't matter. And if you have some good contracts with agencies, sometimes they will call you back for new roles. I've worked for 2 or 3 different agencies, 2 or 3 different projects, because I did a good job. They liked me and they reached out to me again. So don't burn a bridge with a contract agency. If you like them, they could very well turn into something long-term, and 5 years could be 3 years. Some companies don't want to pay for full-time employees because of all the benefits. They only want contract people. And that's just the nature of their business and their budgeting constraints. So don't turn your nose away from contract. It's decent and you get to meet a lot of people and you never know what's going to happen.
And that's exactly right. Every contracting opportunity, every volunteer opportunity, every survival job or part-time job broadens your experience, things that you can bring to your next role, whatever that is. Also gives you the opportunity to add those extra networking partners, extra contacts. You never know where it goes. And you're right. They help to pay the bills while you're looking for that next role that you really want.
One last tip, W-2, not 1099. If you do W-2, you can file for unemployment afterwards. Not on 1099.
Not many companies will not do the W-2.
A lot of them do though. The bigger ones, the bigger agencies like Judge Group and Randstad Technology, they'll do W-2.
Yep. So that is one of the
insurance too from them when you leave.
I was going to say that is one of the advantages of going in through one of those outside contracting agencies, is that you may get that W-2 status through the agency.
Yes.
Okay. In addition, some of the larger agencies are offering benefits. You pay the full package, okay, but they are offering you the ability to have some of those benefits as you go along. Some companies actually, for 2 companies, I set up their contract roles so that they would go through that outside agency specifically so that the people would get benefits and unemployment.
Absolutely.
Okay. But a lot of companies are pulling back from that again now because it costs them added money, even though, right, you're still the contractor. So
and sometimes it's negotiable. If you don't ask, the answer is no.
And that's always right. Perfect. Okay. Last one. Okay. Go ahead.
Hello there. I see a lot of posts kind of going back and forth, and I just wanted to mention, about individuals who are shy about looking for contract work because they're worried about their resume looking like I only did a bunch of little projects or I got a bunch of gaps in between. You can change the way you present yourself to skills-based versus chronological. You can just say, like for myself, I've got over 3 decades of experience in operational leadership and human resources management. And here's what you're looking for. You want A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to fill those responsibilities with A, B, C, and D from my experience. because that's what hiring managers are looking for. They're looking to make a match. They're not necessarily looking for timing per se. So feel free to have a look at it in that kind of a context too. So contract jobs can help you build that experience.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we recommend is if you're doing a lot of that contracting work, you group them together, as Ken said, so that here are these different opportunities. On your resume, you're going to highlight the skills, you're going to highlight the experience. But I will tell you that a functional resume is not as effective for you as a straight chronological one with the skills and experience up top that match the new job. So 6 of one, half dozen of another. But in terms of the formatting, the reason that companies don't necessarily like it is because, number one, it's harder for the ATS to read. Number two, if I'm looking specifically, I want to see that list of where you did what. Okay, I'm going to look at what those jobs are. They still have to be there. But more and more hiring managers are telling me they don't like seeing that functional. Okay, they would rather see the chronological, but they want to see in that first third of the resume skills related to the job, experience related to the job, or accomplishments related to the job. That's where you bring in that functional, because it's the combination of specific and generic without labeling it. But do what works for you. What did you do in HR? What do you do in HR?
Actually, I'm an independent HR consultant, and I do outplacing as well myself. Just in context for everybody, I'm actually quite a ways away, I think, from a lot of people. I'm up in Sherwood Park, Alberta, up in Canada. So, but I work internet. I got an international designation as well as a Canadian HR designation. So I work on both sides of the fence.
That's great. Well, congratulations. And yes, the difference would be that if you are doing a consulting resume, I'm going in to sell my services as opposed to sell my job. Okay, that functional may work better.
Yeah, I've seen success on both sides, you know, from that kind of context. The one thing that I always relate for anybody that I'm talking to is really understand what your skill set is and be able to have your, we call it an elevator pitch, or have your commercial, your 30-second commercial kind of thing. Be really aware of where your skills are. And by just going through the process of drafting a functional resume, that can help you to develop that conversation for yourself. So even if you don't use it, it's still a good exercise to help you explore who you are yourself.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you. Good luck. Okay. So perfect segue into the topic for the day. We're going to start something new. Okay. Our topic today is really all about skills. We did it last week, but we ran out of time. Okay. How do you showcase what your skills are? How do you find the right skills to highlight? Okay. And so what we're going to do today is, because we talk a lot about doing all of this, we want to make sure that you are doing some of it. We want to give you something that you can take away, not just our information, okay, but a to-do list. And so Sue's going to share our first one for today.
All right, everybody, I'd love it if you'd put this in the chat, and then we'll have a record of it. But I want to know, when was the last time you checked your skills list on LinkedIn to change your top 2 skills or to confirm them? Maybe in the last month, maybe some of you do it every week, maybe you're like me and you haven't done it in a year. All right, so why am I talking about this? Most of us know, but I want to remind you, because this is one of those pieces of information that we forget. LinkedIn will reorder your skills. Now, I admit that under 360 Brew or Brew 360, whichever one you want to call the new algorithm, the new system that they have, that runs AI, runs LinkedIn. I don't know that this is still happening, but I have, some of you may notice I was on your profiles earlier this morning, just collecting a little ad hoc anecdotal data, like, oh, what are their skills? So I want to make sure that you all are checking them. Every time you add a skill or add something into your skills list, maybe you take something off, or LinkedIn has a new drop down for some new role that there is now, and that's a skill. Check the order And then make sure you check that those skills here's the critical areas for you to check. Your skills list, the 2 that show on your profile are the ones you want emphasized. And number 2, the about section and at least your present job, make sure those are ordered in what you want. You don't want your job or your top 5 skills to say Microsoft Word or I don't know what else, relationship management, if that's not the important one for you. And I saw someone this morning who the first thing in his top 5 skills was a program, and not, even though his role that he wants is much larger than that. That went a little longer, Linda, but your action is check the skills. And thanks everybody for helping us out just to canvas and see where you are in this process. So these skills, today's about skills. We'll try to make the tip applicable every week to the topic that's coming, unless we have a guest, and they'll have plenty of actions for you. Thanks, Linda.
Absolutely. And I'm loving the fact that you all are checking those. So I really do want you to, Sue's absolutely right, check them every day. In fact, I went in knowing that we were doing this today, right? I went in and checked mine this morning. And you have 100 skills that are possible. You do not need to use all 100. You do need to make sure that when you're going through those skills, think about those as your keywords, okay? We talk a lot about keywords on a resume. Those are the things that match what this job is looking for. On LinkedIn, because it's so much broader, make sure that every skill that is listed in that section is one you want to be found for, okay? If you don't want, I think last week somebody was talking about the fact that they were being found for things that they had done 15, 20 years ago in chemistry that they no longer do and want to do. And the reason that they're being found for it is because that skill still shows up. If you don't want to do it anymore, take it out. Now, hidden with the 360 brew or brew 360, whatever it is, that you should know about is that your skills will show up in searches if you have at least 1 endorsement. And I'm hearing a change, and I don't know, Ken, whether you've heard this too, that it needs to be now a 5 endorsement.
I really haven't heard anything, to be honest.
Okay. I'm hearing rumors that maybe. So right now, I'm still going with the 1. You have to have at least 1 endorsement for the skill to show up higher. If you don't have the endorsements, it's going to show up in the bottom of the stack. Okay. You can only remember endorse people who are a first level connection.
I mean, I don't get prompted anymore to endorse people, and I think that's probably because of a change they made, because people were just endorsing people left and right.
Right. And part of it may be that you have to go back in and double check your settings and make sure that you are allowing people to endorse you and send that information.
That's a whole separate discussion. It's a whole LinkedIn settings thing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done that before. We're going to have to do it again, but double check that to make sure. Go ahead.
I noticed too, after I reordered my skills on that last week, I got different types of job announcements as well. So I mean, if you reorder, what you're really looking for, I guess it comes up higher. But I didn't know. But my question really was, what is the purpose of the reorder section, and how often do you have to change it? Or does it automatically change whenever a new thing is launched? And then how do you know when something is launched?
I would go in at least once a week and double check. Okay. Every time you add a skill, it automatically changes the order in LinkedIn. Every time you get an endorsement, it automatically changes the order of those skills in LinkedIn. Okay. Now, is it a good thing that you're adding those new skills and you're getting those endorsements? Absolutely. But you have to remember that you get to choose what shows up on that profile page. So go in and reorder them every time, okay, at least once a week, to make sure that the skills that show up on your profile page themselves, I can find you for everything, but the 2 that show up on your profile page are the ones you most want to be found for. And like anything else in search, even if I click see more, I'm probably only going to take a look at the first 10. I'm not going to go beyond that in terms of another page. So those top 2 need to be, yay, these are the ones I really want to be found for. The next 8, please find me for these. The rest of them can be in any order, and I honestly don't care.
I have a
This
question.
algorithm will find you regardless. Yes, Barry.
I have a question. When I look at my skills page, at my skills section, I have checked off like what part of my experience I've used those skills at, but I don't like the order they're displaying that in, and I can't figure out a way to change that. It doesn't seem to be something that you can reorganize. For example, one of the skills the top skill on my skill list is pulling up something from an organization that I did some volunteer work for probably 20 years ago. And that's not what I want to be highlighted on the list. Is the only solution to not list which places I've applied the experience at? Because that doesn't seem useful either.
No, so let me see what I can get there.
There is a way to reorganize the skills so that you can move the ones that you want to the top.
Exactly.
And then you could drill down inside of each skill and change in which company did you accrue that skill set.
I know but it won't let me rearrange which companies I've done it at, or at least I have not figured out how to be able to do that.
I'm not sure what you mean, Barry.
What do you mean? You mean taking it off the company?
If you look at so if you go to the skills, can you still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So because I'm looking at my page right now, and I go to my first thing on my list, and I click on the edit button for that. Okay. And then it says, tell me where you put the skills to use.
Yep.
That's where I want to reorder things, but I can't find where will let me do that. It doesn't seem to be anywhere it will let me reorder.
That is organized by the year in which you worked at that particular company. So for me, the lowest one is Intel because that's the oldest that I have on my profile.
Right.
And then they go chronological to the newest one in which you're in right now. You cannot
So it
change
starts
the
with
order.
the oldest and goes to the newest?
No, the other way around.
The older at the bottom, the newest at the top.
It's not doing that though.
But here's the thing. You don't have to include every skill that you've ever had in that job.
Correct.
If you don't want to be found for it anymore, take it off.
No, this is a skill I want to be found for. It's my top skill on my list.
Right,
Then why
but
are you concerned that it's
you
not
should be
something-
able to edit the I'm editing one just to see what you're having trouble with, Barry. When I go to international development, I have some check boxes that I can check and uncheck
Right,
to
so do
take it out of different positions. So the position won't show up any longer. That's what you're saying, right? You don't want to be found for this skill from 20 years ago. You want the skill there, but you don't want the org
Well, I want
under
the
that
skill there, and it would be useful to show that I've used that skill throughout my career.
Yeah.
I suppose I
You have
could
to associate
take
that
off the
skill.
ones from the volunteer work I did.
You have to associate that skill in the skill section to the relevant entries in your profile.
Right.
If you want to share your screen, we can maybe try to walk you through that, but it's simply
That's what I was
checking.
going to suggest.
Yeah.
I have no clue how to share my screen with you.
All right, so tell you what, how about if I share your profile with everybody?
Go ahead. Do I need to log out of it, log out of my edit mode for that
I
to
don't
happen?
think that'll
You
work.
do not.
Because we won't be able to see the.
I can't edit it.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Okay.
Barry, there's a green box at the bottom called share. In the
Correct.
control
Hang on
panel
a
at the very
second, because I've managed to screw up what I'm looking at altogether here now. Just give me bear with me here.
Sure.
Okay. No,
Can you do it?
okay, okay, I'm on my LinkedIn profile. Okay.
Okay,
And I
can you share the screen?
Share the screen.
click on yes, and down at the bottom it says
Share the screen, Barry.
Hmm?
Can you
Oh.
share the
Share
screen?
the screen so your profile comes up for all of us.
I assume you only have one screen, correct, Barry?
I only have one screen.
Okay, just making sure because that can get confusing. Thanks.
And I have everything set to share everything already in my settings. So I'm not sure where you want
No,
me.
I'm sorry. You don't share your screen within LinkedIn. Share your screen within Zoom.
Right.
Okay, that's what I don't know how to do.
On the bottom of your Zoom screen, Barry.
Okay,
Right?
go there. Okay. Oh, I see. Share. Okay.
Right. It should be a green button. Share it, hit that.
Oh, and then go and click on my open application window.
Exactly.
Got it. Oh, good. Learned something new today. Okay, good.
There you go.
Did it show up?
Well, it will hopefully.
Hang on, I have to
Okay.
switch
There
back
you
to.
go.
There you go. Yep. Okay.
So now what is it that you're concerned about? Which one?
Well, I was just starting. Okay, why isn't it showing up? You can see me on your screen. I can't see you on mine.
Worry
Okay.
about that. All we want to see right
Okay,
now.
so if you look at the first list, the first thing in the list, okay, it says strategic thinking, or it's supposed to say that.
So we're seeing the mid to the bottom.
Middle
Go all the way
part.
up. Scroll up.
Scroll up. Scroll up.
All
Scroll
the way
up.
up.
All the way. Keep going.
Keep going all the way to the top.
Okay,
There you go.
Go.
Okay.
Okay.
So you see, the first one is strategic thinking.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So and the only thing that shows up here is with American Contract Bridge League.
Click
That's
the
because
pencil.
that's the only one that you added it to.
Select the pencil. Select the
Because
pencil.
When I click on the edit,
Okay.
I have like
Right. Okay.
six experiences.
Mhm.
And this organization one is down at the very bottom.
But so if you go to your profile with the jobs that you have listed, it doesn't show up there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it does. It does.
Oh, it does show up, but when I'm looking at the skills page that people can see,
When I'm looking at your profile page, Barry.
are you seeing all of the different places showing up?
Yes. I am.
Because in my editing area,
Back out of the skills and scroll up to your jobs.
Okay.
And then let's see what's going on with the different jobs. Okay.
Yep, I'm going there.
Yep.
Right now.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, +1. Okay. So I see it as,
Right. Now,
okay.
slide down.
Yeah.
I want to see your skills on the page. One more.
Doing the same thing.
Stop. Okay. Are those the two things that you most want to be found for?
Yes, those are fine. I mean, I may want to change it because maybe they're duplicative. I don't know, but
I'm going to suggest that those are not the two you most want to be found for.
they're not. Okay.
Those are things that you're doing in all of the jobs, but those aren't hard skills. Those are not, if I'm thinking about it, those aren't the keywords I'm going to be using to find somebody.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I follow you. Okay.
Okay. If you think about it, what are the kinds of jobs you're looking for? What would you most want to be found for? Think about these more as tasks, things that you can do. The critical thinking, the strategic thinking, those are almost personality traits. Those are the soft skills.
So let's say project manager, business analyst, whatever the job title is.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking,
if you go, I mean,
I see document management under the private law firm.
Yeah.
Okay, in several different places. Document management is something that you may want to do. Paralegal may be something that you want to do.
Okay.
So reordering them that way is probably a better way. They'll still stay I can still find them.
Mm-hmm.
You can still associate them with individual jobs. But in terms of the profile, in terms of what I see, I want to see on that page those things that are most important for the jobs that I would be looking for that make you stand out from everybody else.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. I'm looking at your heading. It says, looking for my next opportunity to help you organize. I mean, can you go back to your home to your profile? I'm just,
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Where am I going? All the way to the top. Okay.
All right. So that's that area there. There's no terms in there. There's nothing searchable there.
Yep.
It's just a very generic thing.
I'll have to have a conversation with my sister. Okay.
Okay. So Pam
Linda
can help you
knows
with
what
that.
I'm talking about.
Or we all can. But the idea is, what are you trying to do? Help you organize to increase profitability. So your data management should be up there.
Data management, all those different things. Your administrator, your strategist, whatever strategic, that's searchable. They're looking for my next opportunity. That's wasted real estate, in my opinion.
It is. You've got those first 40 characters are really what I'm going to see when I look at your profile. Okay. When your name comes up.
Okay.
So if you want that looking for your next opportunity, end with that. Don't start with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it already says I'm open to work. Okay.
Exactly.
So you're duplicating it. It's kind of assumed.
Right.
Okay. I
Okay.
will.
You should also have a background image too.
Right. You and I have talked about that, Barry. If you don't have a background image, by the way, guys, it's really easy to do.
Yep.
You can go to LinkedIn or you can go to Google Images and search for free LinkedIn background. You can go to
Click on the
Canva.
camera, right click.
Canva.
Right?
Yep.
And you can find free LinkedIn background images. What you're looking for, if you can, is something that represents some of the things that you do. Okay, Barry, for yours, you can be a paperwork screen. But the idea is it can be your city, it can be something fun. I want something that says you've done more than just it's out there. You really understand what this profile is all about. We find that people who have a full profile get more views, get more contacts, get more results.
So what I have down in that blue box where it says open to work.
Those are all things that should be in your heading.
Those are the things that need to be up where I have looking for my next opportunity.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because that's all searchable. I mean,
flip that. Okay.
Okay. And
yes,
when we were talking about locations, Barry,
yes.
okay, you want to change that too. It's not Oak Park, Michigan. It's Greater Detroit area.
Yep.
Or Detroit Metropolitan.
Okay.
It'll still give you your zip code that you can put in, but that's background.
You can have two. You can have a metropolitan area and a local one too.
Yep.
Okay.
Again, the fact that most people don't know this, this is why it's so great for us to help everyone.
Exactly.
I appreciate the advice, and I will make those changes when we're done here today.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Stop sharing, Barry. There you go. Okay. Joan, you had a question. Joan, are you still here? Did I lose
Yeah,
you?
sorry, I was muted. I was wondering, and I did get a response in the chat, but I want to put it out to everybody. If you're trying to looking to pivot into another industry, the endorsements are all from the previous industry that you were looking to pivot. And I know I need to get rid of those. That's not the issue. I need some to get me more visibility in where I'm going. And I do, but I'm also still learning. I'm not there yet. I'm still taking trainings, certifications, things like that. I do have a good network. I'm building relationships. I'm doing coffee chats and all that. Just not sure how to make the ask for those endorsements. I probably would like to start off with maybe 2.
Okay. So LinkedIn, don't listen. There's a difference between an endorsement and a recommendation. For an endorsement, all it really needs is for you to be a first level.
I meant endorsements. Sorry about that. Endorsements.
I understand. Okay.
Yes.
So for an endorsement, all you need is somebody to be a first level connection, and all they have to do is click. In fact, right now, okay, Joan, as we're doing this.
Yeah, I understand that, but just making the ask for them to do that, that's what I'm kind of struggling with.
You have, right? You have 40 some people.
And I'm not really in the field. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of transitioning, which has been at it for about a little over a year.
Joan, LinkedIn, please don't listen. I don't need to know that you can actually do it. I'm not testifying to the fact that you are a great person in this area. In fact, everybody, if you've got that extra screen right now, pull up Joan's profile. Okay. I'm going to share my screen if I can. Okay. Okay. Joan, pull up your profile and share your screen. Joan, can you still hear us?
I think she's
I think,
frozen.
I think she's frozen,
Do
actually.
you want me? I'm on her profile
you
now.
do
I
that?
can do it.
It's on mute. Back,
And
bouncing back and forth.
I'm looking at it on mobile too, so.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've got your profile up too. There you go, Joan. All right.
Oh.
So Joan, which skills do you want to be endorsed for?
Mute.
Unmute.
She's still frozen. I think
Okay,
she's.
sorry. Yeah, I had this delay. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull it up now. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Joan, I think it's more effective if you
Okay.
can detail
Okay,
the
sure.
skills because your present role, which is the 12-week fellowship, you only have one skill there. And I know you're doing
Everything's
much
just
more
being
than
really slow right now. Give me a few
cybersecurity.
seconds to get in. Okay, it's coming. Okay, do you want me to do a share?
No,
Okay, do
Sue
you want me
already
to
has
share
it up.
now or?
Sue has it up. Okay, so because you've got the lag.
Okay.
So we just want to scroll through it. But what Sue
Okay.
is saying is that you're not listing skills under your current fellowship. And you need to do that. It doesn't matter whether you've mastered them fully yet or not. Doesn't matter that you haven't used them on a job. These are still skills you are learning and doing, and we want to be able to include them so that you can be found for those skills. So your cybersecurity, whatever else it is you're learning, your data management, data analysis. Go into the skill on your profile, add it to that job, if that's the job that, those skills that you want. More importantly, you asked how people can endorse you for those skills. As you're looking at your skill set right now, give us the top 5 that you would like to be endorsed for. Not old ones, new ones.
I see that she's got recommendations, but I'm not able to endorse anything. So I'm guessing she doesn't have those other 2 radio buttons on that you showed last week.
So part of it, Joan, is make sure, number 1, that you go into your skills section or into your, the skills section.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the main profile. Can you show, Sue, can you show her where those 3 buttons are that you used?
I'll look at you guys, right, because like I said, I have the lag here.
I don't know at this point who's sharing screen. Is it Joan sharing or Sue sharing?
No, I'm still sharing. I'm back on her skills section. So
go back to her profile page.
Yep.
Still in the skills area.
I'm down to the skills area in just a minute. It's
That's
all
all right.
the way down. There we
All right,
go.
stop. Now you're too far. So there should be.
Then we get a show all. Is that what you want?
Yep, show
The
all.
Show all skills, right?
Yep. Interesting. I'm not seeing my 3 dots to reorder or add.
That's because this
you
is
won't
not
see it
hers.
from me because I'm not her.
Oh,
but
that's true.
Yeah. She can get in and edit it. But I think, Joan, you need to think about what you want to emphasize about what you're doing in cybersecurity, because your about section still has your coaching, mentoring stuff in it.
Right.
So that's one of the first places that people scan and see those skills.
So
I'm sorry, which one, Sue, was that?
Your about section.
Right. Your about section, your skills.
Actually, my about has the cybersecurity, has GRC, IT. Right, that's definitely IT and cyber. I made sure that, the about section, no, that's, that's
And that's your
compliance,
top
GRC,
5 skills.
IT. I even put the Marymount training and all that.
Add your top 5 skills that you want to be found for now in that about section.
Okay.
On your page, okay, when you go into your skills section, and you're right, we can't do it for you. But when you go here where it says show all skills, there should be 3 dots up at the top along with a check, a plus sign on the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Go into the 3 dots first. And in those 3 dots, you want to go into your settings. Okay. You want to make sure that all 3 toggle switches are on. You want to be endorsed. You want to let people endorse you. You want to be notified. I don't care whether you get notified, but you want to make sure that people can endorse you. If you don't turn that on, we can't do that. Second, you can only be endorsed by a first level connection. So whoever it was who said I couldn't endorse you, double check to make sure you're a first level connection. If you're not, it won't work. And then what I want you to do, Joan, I want all of you to think about this. We talked about this as a working session. Go to your own profiles for a moment. And in the chat box, please write down the top 5 skills you would like to be endorsed for. So please, in the chat, here's what I want you to do. I want you to use the word endorse me and then list your top 5 skills. People can do that now. They can do that after they leave the meeting. Because remember, you're going to be saving the chat so that you can use this. Once you do that, you also have to go back in and include or go back in and reorder those skills, because now you've got at least 5 of us. See how many of us are here? There are still 40 of us in the room. You still have 40 of us who may endorse you for those skills. And suddenly, those are now going to be at the top of your list. You want to make sure they're the right ones. And you want to make sure that they're included where you want them to be. And then the next time you ask people to endorse you for skills, take your next 5. Your goal is for at least those top 10 skills to have at least 5 endorsements, okay, before you're done, okay, within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Come on, make sure that you're asking for it. Asking for an endorsement is easy. You can ask for it here. You can ask for it in our private group. You can ask for it in a DM. You can endorse someone else and say, I just endorse you for X and Y. Would you please endorse me for A and B? There are lots of ways you can do it. That's another of your action items for the week. Find the skills you want to be endorsed for and then add them. Should you go ahead?
Can I offer a quick suggestion?
Please.
It'd be helpful to also, those skills you want endorsed for, put your LinkedIn URL right next to it.
Absolutely.
Make it
Great.
easy.
Yep.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks for the addition. That's perfect. Okay. And by the way, if you don't have time to add it today, do it in our private group. If you haven't joined our private group, please do that. Okay. It's a very easy thing to do. Perfect. And yes, you have to reorder the skills once you get those endorsements. Now, LinkedIn allows us to use drop-down boxes, and I highly recommend it because those are the searchable terms. But 360 Brew also is allowing people to search on some native language, not just drop-down boxes. If you're asking people to endorse you and you have some of that native language, for example, I have Next Forever Coaching or Job Search or Next Forever Jobs. That's not the LinkedIn drop-down box. Do I want to be endorsed for it? Of course I do. Because that's now going to show up on my profile and it becomes something that I get known for. But you want to make sure that in your top 5 to 10 skills, the majority of them are those native, or those terms that are in the LinkedIn drop-down boxes because they are easy for me to search for. Okay, here's another trick. LinkedIn is in some ways a database, right? It's a searchable database. And like any searchable database, the more times you include some terms, the more likely it is to be found. Which is why you want your top 5 skills, not just in that skills section. You want to list them in your about section. You want to list some of those skills with each job. Now, don't get carried away. I've seen some people try and list all 100 skills for every job. Please don't. Okay. number one, talk about skills loading, right? That's an automatic turnoff. Don't do that. Pick the ones that are most important. Okay. I noticed that as I was doing this morning, that I've overloaded my skills for each job, and I need to go back and change that. I'd like to see you do no more than probably the top 15 for each job. Okay. 10 to 15 for each job is probably enough. It'll still be there. The reason for adding them to the individual jobs is two things. One of which is it demonstrates where you've done it. Second, if I'm looking for somebody who has X number of years doing data analysis, and you have associated data analysis with 3 jobs that now equal 10 years, and I'm looking for somebody who's got 10 years, you're going to pop up closer to the top of my list. That's the other reason for doing it. It's not just that it's the repetition, it's that number of years that LinkedIn does in the background. Yes, Cheryl.
Linda, this might be a dumb question.
I'm sorry, and I don't know who you are, but somebody had raised a hand before you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Cheryl, but
I apologize. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I apologize if this is, I know you've talked about it before, but I see my top skills on my profile, but where do I go to find the list of, 40 or 50 skills I have so I can fix that? I can't remember where to find those.
There are no dumb questions, Cheryl, ever.
Thank you.
And the ones that you choose not to ask.
So I'm on my profile.
If you go into your profile, go down to skills.
Yep.
Is it in your profile?
I'm in my profile now.
Okay. So if you go down to your profile, you go to your skills section.
Oh, I see it. My skills. Yep. And then hit the pencil.
Exactly.
And then I get
all
of the ones that I've listed. Got it. All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So if you've got some there that and thank you for asking the question, because a lot of people may be asking the same thing. Okay.
You know what it is you forget if you're not looking at your skills all the time and you're so busy connecting.
Exactly.
You forget how to do this stuff. And I wish, for those, once we land a job, I'm going to have a big LinkedIn burning party. I'm going to I'm gonna, I'm gonna find an old computer screen, pull up LinkedIn and beat it with a baseball bat.
You know what? I'm going to suggest that you really don't. And here's why. Because you're always looking. You're always networking. Yeah. Your profile will continue to work for you, even when you have that permanent next forever, I'm never going anywhere else job. Because then you can help other people. You can still demonstrate your expertise. It still needs to be there. It'll also help you grow within your company. Okay.
But the thing is, what I hate is that it seems like most of the people on LinkedIn are recruiters, people who are building a business, and job seekers. The people actually doing the work, the managers we're trying desperately to connect with, I mean, they're too busy working to fool around with LinkedIn. So that's the thing I hate about it. Maybe I'm making a mistake or.
Hey, Cheryl, this is Kim. Since you were able to see you're updating your LinkedIn, your skills, maybe you can show your thing, if it's okay with Linda, that you can show the endorsement piece that the other, like when I went to the endorsements and you recommended it last week, Linda, is I had 2 of those radio buttons off. So that's why I want everybody to double check that. And maybe this might be a good demonstration since she's been able to do that. Yeah.
I don't mind if Linda would
please do
like me to. Okay.
Because I can't edit your profile, only you can.
Yep, here we go. So here is
good.
So now you can see my profile. So this is how
give it a couple seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Go up to the top of that screen.
So these are sort of the top skills.
So I think
to hit the 3 buttons on the right next to the plus sign, click that. Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Click that.
And you click that.
Go to the second one. That's how you can reorder, but go to the second one, endorsement settings. The second item right there under reorder.
Wait, oh, I got
Yep,
it.
yeah, click that guy.
Endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And you
three
have
of
them
those
all
are-
on. I didn't have all mine on. That's good.
okay.
So double check and make
Okay.
sure that all three are on. If
They're
you don't
on.
want to have the notifications, I don't care. So at least those top two, but as far as I'm concerned, all three work. And the reason that I like having the notifications on is that then you can pay it back or pay it forward.
Show that
Okay.
again, Cheryl, so everybody can see that, whether they
Yep,
want to get a
so-
screenshot. Yeah,
So you
click
hit
that.
here and
Mhm.
then
Endorsement settings.
endorsement settings.
And just
And
stay
you
there
have-
so everybody can see it.
Yep, and you have
Thank
to
you very
make
much for the
sure
suggestion.
all
Perfect.
those are turned on.
Correct. And remember, the only people who can endorse you are your first level connections.
Ah, okay.
Okay? So
All
make
right,
sure that that's
thank
there.
you.
Absolutely. Then those same three dots will allow you to reorder those. So not only do they show up on your profile, but they'll show up in that top sends listing. And as you're going through, use this as an exercise, an opportunity to go in and see which skills you really want. If there's something you no longer want to be found for, like Microsoft Word, or, sorry, I don't know, Barry, whether you're still here or not, Word Perfect. Okay, that is no longer in use. Take it
Yes,
off.
I know. You told me last week.
Okay. It's important to make sure that
I'm expert with it.
it doesn't make any difference if you're expert.
know.
Nobody's using it anymore.
I know.
So if you're no longer want to be found for,
It'll be
take
one of
it
my
off.
crusades one of these days. Get people to use it again.
Probably not. Okay. But the idea is you want to be able to make sure that what's in that skill section is something you really want to be found for. Okay. Now, for all of you who've hung in with us for so long, I truly appreciate it. I'm going to add the private group link in again. Oops. YouTube didn't show up. Interesting. Oh, if you click on it, it shows up, but for some reason, it just shows up as YT in the chat. Okay. Anyway, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the skills that you want. That's your homework. Okay. In addition to the homework that Sue's already given you, going in and it's all part of it, double checking your skill section. Now you're going to do it this week. And you're going to ask us what skills you want us to endorse you for. I would love to see when we come back next week. Now, next week is an open Ask Us Anything. Okay. So it's going to be all over the place. And I know that. But I would love to be able to come back and have you all tell us in the chat that you have gotten at least 5 endorsements for your top 5 skills. You've asked for them. We've responded. More importantly, you have endorsed at least 5 people for theirs. And you've gone back in and reordered your skills. Lots of asks, and I know that. So here's one of the things that I need you to be able to do. I need you to 1 endorsement per skill. David, yes. Okay. Yes, you have to be connected to endorse. So make sure that you are connecting with each other. First level connections only can endorse, and your endorsement settings have to be on to allow me to endorse you. So make sure that's there. As you're looking at your skills, if you don't want to be found for something, take it off. Make sure that you're adding the right skills to the right jobs. And again, limit it to no more than 10 to 15 per job. And that your top 5 show up in your About section. Lots of things that I'm asking you to do. That you've reordered them so that the ones that show up on your profile page are the 2 you most want to be found for. And that the next 8 are your next in line. Once you start getting lots of endorsements for a skill, go ahead and ask people to endorse the next 5 down the list. So we're going to continue to do that. Now, as we're doing this, I haven't added my skills in yet, but I will before I put the chat in our private group, or I will just put it in the private group myself. Hard to do this and add those things at the same time, right? I should have had it in advance and just copied and pasted. But what I want you to do is, although I think I've reordered them enough so that at least the top 2 are where I want them to be. But if you haven't had a chance to do it now, when you're in our private group, go ahead and add your skills there. Do a separate post in there, okay? And we'll do it. In fact, maybe we'll start a chain. And what we'll do is we'll have one message that says endorsements, okay? And then everybody respond with their comments. That way we can make sure that we've got it. And include your LinkedIn URL as part of that. I also want you to copy the chat. Now, I'm going to put the chat in our private group in just a little bit, but in the meantime, remember to copy the chat yourself, because sometimes when I put these in the private group, the links don't work. Now, the other thing I'm going to do today, for all of you who are including your endorsements in here, I'm going to throw the chat into an AI and have it pull out those comments that you've made that says endorse me for, okay, so that they're all in one document.
Thank you, Linda.
Absolutely.
There's a lot.
You know what? I'm really glad that there's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's a great use for AI, is to throw some of these things in chat, not to write for you, right? But to extract data that you can use.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to do that piece for you, and then I will add that into the chat. But again, even though your URL is there and really important, it may not translate as a clickable link. You're going to have to copy and paste. But you'll have all of those skills that are there.
Linda, what I found is if you select all and copy and paste into Word, the clickable links are retained.
Yeah, if you're doing it
the chat always at the beginning of the meeting, right, to view all messages and see that early timestamp of 11 a.m. or whatever, and then select all and paste into Word, the clickable links are retained versus the saving chat is a text file and it is not retained.
And that's why I do the same thing.
Okay.
But when I post it in the private group, it posts automatically, even though I upload it as a Word document. Sometimes LinkedIn saves it as a PDF.
Okay.
Okay. So the best way to do this is to go up to the very top of the chat, make sure that you keep clicking new message, new message, new message, so that you get back in, because we started the chat, I think we opened it just before 11 o'clock. Once you're up at the top, click anywhere in the chat and do a click, select all, click copy, paste it into your own Word document, and then you have it, which is what I do. The use of AI to be able to extract that kind of information is a great use of an AI. Okay, to analyze the data, to give you those bullets, those ideas, not to post for you, not to write for you, but to do it. And so I've actually started doing that, not just for the chat, but for the transcripts, to try and pull out some of the main points so that I remember. Because honestly, don't tell anybody, but while I'm doing this, sometimes I get so lost in the conversation. Don't shake your head at me. It's true, right? But I don't always retain. How about that? What are the most important things as we go along, which is why I go back and take another look too. Okay, but if there's specific things you want us to talk about, please remember to put it in the chat as well as idea or speaker. I am planning now for the next couple of months. I have a couple of people that, some experts coming in between now and June, and I'm adding more, but I want to make sure that these sessions really work for you. Next week, as I said, is an Ask Us Anything. So bring your questions. It's a great way to invite other people to what we're doing, to share the ideas and to really expand this group. And to those of you who are starting new positions next week, you're always welcome to come join us during your lunch hour, or to look on YouTube and see the replays and do it that way as well. All of that works. Yes, you have a question time or suggestion.
Yeah, just to add here, one thing as we're building out the LinkedIn, what I've noticed is the last couple networking events I've gone to, they'll take a look and search at me on LinkedIn and pull up. And as you're saying, the picture is so crucial, the background is so crucial, the top whatever 144 characters to describe who we are, and they look at it and go, okay, yep, I found you, let's connect, or they start the conversation. And looking at it on a phone, because I'm so used to doing it on the computer, it's really amazing how important that background wallpaper is behind our head, our picture, and all that. So I find that that's starting to really kick along in the networking calls I've been, and I wanted to share that with everybody.
That's a great tip. Remember, anytime you're making a change on your profile, any change you make automatically re-indexes it for LinkedIn. Your changes are automatic. If you're making changes, look on your phone as well as on your computer. Again, really an important aspect, especially if you're talking about that background photo. Okay, you're talking about your profile photo. You want to be able to see that your headline is easily viewable on your telephone as well as, okay, on the computer or the tablet that you're using. All right. Thank you all. I will go back and look at all of this. I will check to see what's going on. Thank you all for staying with us. So I'm asking, does this added half an hour work to make sure that we're covering everything we want to do?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right.
I think so.
Perfect. I'm going to go into the chat later and pull out again, asking my AI to help me decide whether we start a half an hour early or go a half an hour late. Okay. And I will, whatever the change is, I will send a new updated link to your calendars. Okay. But remember, when you get that link, when you register, you have to go, unfortunately, all the way down to the bottom of that email to find that calendar link that says add to calendar. And then you get to choose which calendar it is. I haven't figured out a way to get around that yet, but I'm still working on it. So all you tech gurus out there, bring it on. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording.
Thank you, Linda. Have a great weekend.
Thank you all too.